Hey, this is Notser, and this is a user replay submitted by Mirrorcle in the Tier 9 U.S. Battleship Iowa. The Iowa is among one of the best battleships ever made, and if you would like to share a replay, please send it to notserreplay@gmail.com. 2 R's right there. Please have the replay file, screenshots for the in-score screen, and a 1 to 2 sentence summary of what actually happened in that battle. I use user replays to fill a void in my content. Either I haven't done a battleship in a while, or that particular ship ever, or just for variety's sake. This is a user-submitted battleship replay. I wanted to share a battleship since the first two were a destroyer and a cruiser. Finally, thank you for submitting replays. If you weren't chosen, maybe you'll be chosen next week. Now, Mirrorcle is engaging an enemy Mirrorcle who's got the holiday camo pattern. Unfortunately, doesn't really do a lot of damage with that salvo, but that shouldn't stop him from trying. He's at a pretty good distance from the Mirrorcle. It's well within a reasonable shot. I always prefer to engage targets that are about the Mirrorcle's range. This Amagi is pretty reasonable too, but for me, I don't know if it's the same for you or even Mirrorcle, trying to fire at a ship that is greater than 15-16 kilometers out usually ends in a waste of my time. And, oh boy, Mirrorcle gets a 13,000 Citadel penetration on the Amagi, but this enemy Mirrorcle is way too close, have to engage it. He wasn't the only one capturing C. I believe there might be a destroyer in this area. Yep, you see the destroyer? Just barely showed up on the other side of that island. Now the enemy Mirrorcle makes a huge, critical mistake, showing their side, and Mirrorcle makes them pay. 20,000 points of damage. 6 total rounds making contact, with one of them being a Citadel. One more chance and the enemy Mirrorcle will be dead. You gotta keep your angling. You gotta maintain that angle. It is critical that you maintain angle over everything. If you've gotten into a situation where I have to turn around, Notser, or I'm gonna run into the enemy, it's almost better, and in battleships it's almost better to just back up. While you're maintaining that angle, it's nearly impossible to get a Citadel penetration, but whenever you show your side, like this enemy Mogami, you are susceptible to really big Citadel penetrations. And the Mogami was either firing while stealth or was detected outside of their normal detection. Maybe the destroyer was closer than they thought, and they were at a standstill, and they had to get moving rather quickly to avoid incoming rounds. So one thing that I would like to mention is there's going to be a PTR up as you're watching this, most likely, for the 0.5.2 patch. I wanted to hold off on talking about all the patch notes and stuff because I will have actual game footage that I can share with you tomorrow. So you can look forward to that. There's a huge list of changes. I'll also go through all of that in the video tomorrow, hopefully. Enemy Amagi rounds the island. Friendly Fubuki is capturing C. They already have B, so if they can capture C, they'll have an advantage of a capture point. And oh yes, another Citadel. Fantastic. 15,000 between all sources. But they'll have a capture point advantage. They will force the enemy to come to them. Now, for me, I've been grinding ranked. I've been having a lot of success. But just like everything else, you can't win them all. So when I do lose, or when I have to work extra hard for a win, a lot of times it's because my team isn't playing for the objective. They're playing for kills, and the objective is king. If you maintain control of the objectives, you're going to give yourself a better opportunity to engage an enemy who is overextending. Sort of like the Samagi. I don't think the Amagi is here to capture the objective. I just think the Amagi is underestimating quite how many of Miracle's allies are in this area. 90% of his team is here. So 8 ships, 9 ships, it's too many. And the Amagi is just cracking under all of the fire incoming. Who's going to get the kill? Who is going to... Okay, looks like a cruiser. Higher rate of fire and pretty fair velocity. But nobody's at B. The person who was at B was just killed. So I expect that, yep, Miracle. Everyone go to B. B. Turn back, round to B. Yes, B is the key. Hopefully half his team will go to B. The other half maybe sweep down. Sorry about the trees. I don't know why they're flickering. They don't flicker in a normal game, but a replay, they definitely do flicker. He fired on a target that was 18 kilometers away. But it's showing his side, and he's getting pretty good damage. 5k, yeah, I'll take that at that range for me personally. It's very rare that a target goes exactly where you want them to go, getting out into the 17, 18, 19 kilometer range. Enemy Fubuki shows up. Miracle pings him out. He's way too close. He's a huge threat to any battleships in the area. And it'll be an even bigger threat in 0.5.2. He continues to engage these battleships even though there's a destroyer right in front of him. For me personally, I would probably try and work on the destroyer. Now I know the destroyer disappeared and maybe he had a chance to use one gun cooldown on him, but I just think destroyers are too important to ignore no matter what class you are. If you have a chance to take out a destroyer, you should, no matter if you're a battleship. Battleship guns are still really strong against a destroyer. And yep, that Fubuki's still alive. Miracle slams into this Mogami though, and the Iowa is so tall he's actually caught on the command tower of the Mogami. And here come torpedoes. Oh no. Looks like they're actually going to be pretty safe though. They're passing by harmlessly, and yeah, okay, it looks good. Just need to pull off this Mogami. Full reverse, come on. And this North Carolina basically dead. If he gets one good salvo or friendly, he'll be finished. He's just showing too much of his side. He's underestimating how much side is being shown to his enemies. The Fubuki is taken out. And it looks like that salvo that Miracle sent out was unsuccessful. Miracle is allowing the one fire to burn. And I don't know. He's got premium. Oh, he just used his premium damage control. He also has the premium heal, I believe. I don't think he has premium scout though. I think he just has the regular scout. Or the regular fighter, sorry. I don't ever use the scout plane, the true scout plane, because I hate that it changes your perspective. I would just prefer it increase your range. So, Miracle's looking for an ideal target. They're not really ideal though. They're way too far away to me. Now, someone's going to say, I bullseye womp rats at 20 kilometers, Notser, so why not a battleship, right? Well, since you're Luke Skywalker, I would agree. You have the Force with you, but I don't. So I really could try and avoid shots that far away. Looks like he doesn't hit the Mogami. I certainly am not going to go after a Mogami at 20 kilometers. That's just a really tiny target with a really, really good rudder. So, North Carolina might be the ticket. Miracle thinks so, and Miracle fires on the North Carolina. Now, it looked like the North Carolina was stationary, but now the fires are burning really hot in the boiler room, and he's going to start moving forward. Only one round makes contact with the North Carolina, and it doesn't look like it was anything special. Enemy Colorado kind of looks like he's AFK. Yeah, I think this guy's AFK. Ah, that just sucks for the enemy team. That could have helped a lot, and whenever you queue up, just make sure you're playing the game. Don't queue up if you aren't going to be at your PC. I've had a couple AFKs in ranked battle, and that feels terrible because one person on a team of 7 is way more significant than one person on a team of 12. Whenever you lose someone on a team of 7, it's very nearly a loss. It's just too much to overcome. So Mirrorcle is almost at B. An enemy Ibuki is visible outside of B. Couple enemy destroyers, but Mirrorcle feels like the Ibuki must die. 14 kilometers. It's going to be a pretty fair chance to kill the enemy Ibuki. And he does 17,000. No Citadel, mind you, but 17,000 on the Ibuki. He loses his friendly that was leading, and now he is the most forward ship on his team. He's going to sustain a lot of damage. He has a very healthy ship, though, and hopefully he can take out this Ibuki. Maybe one or two other ships. They have the advantage. And 5,400, that's okay. This Fubuki is showing a side, most likely incoming torpedoes, so need to maneuver. And one aspect of this particular camera view, it's really hard to get a gauge on exactly where torpedoes are near the front of the hull. So if you're this zoomed in on your ship, just make sure you're looking around it and really getting that good angle. For me, I can't tell if you would be avoiding the torpedoes from this particular perspective, but it does look like he's going to avoid them, and he takes out the Ibuki. Nice. Now, is he going to go after the Fubuki or the Mogami? He's got AP loaded, so you need to consider that. Looks like he's going after the enemy Fubuki, so he fires and only need one. He takes him out. He's got a fire still burning. He still has a heal and damage control available. Most likely you should keep your damage control available. There's too many targets that could drop torpedoes, and torpedoes would just end you. Floods are just devastating for a battleship. And Miracle's holding on. He's holding on. He's waiting for the right shot. The Mogami turns slightly. Is it enough? Oh, yes, it's enough. Wow. He got a Citadel penetration with that shot. High caliber and devastating strike. Oh, here come torpedoes. And he's able to avoid the first. The second is incoming. I think he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good. Guns are nearly reloaded. Would love to take this Mayhan out. Another enemy shows up just north of his position, so he's gonna have to deal with that. But first, let's take care of the Mayhan, right? Mirrorcle fires everything. It takes out the Mayhan. Earns Confederate. And he just checks. Enemy North Carolina, way too far out, can't engage. Enemy Otago is a lot closer. And this could be bad. Oh no. The Otago is within range to drop torpedoes, and it looks like Mirrorcle is going to run smack into this island. Barely an island. The Iowa should just be able to push it out of the way. It's so small. Obviously, that's not how it works. The Otago has the perfect opportunity to drop torpedoes on him, and he has to. He has to have sent them. But Mirrorcle has his guns ready, so he fires on the enemy. Oh, here come the torpedoes. Didn't lead the target as well as I would expect from Mirrorcle. Everything I've seen so far in the game, maybe he just fired a little bit too soon. But when there's a threat of torpedoes, you know, it's whatever at that point. Remember, he used his port side torpedoes. He could still use starboard if there was a scenario where maybe Mirrorcle went out to face him. Otago could set up an attack for his starboard torpedoes and completely destroy the Iowa. So this is the right play for Mirrorcle. And 15,000 between all 6 rounds. No Citadel, but 15,000 is pretty good. And I believe the Otago has been set on fire from his secondary, so it's just a bonus. Here come more torpedoes. Mirrorcle has to go forward. He has to deal with whatever will be coming from the Otago. He almost has his guns reloaded. Can he take him out before he drops anything in the water if it's available? And yes, he takes out the enemy Otago. That North Carolina 94 hit points. Yeah, he's dead. All there is one remaining Hatsuharu. Now, if you looked at the game, they were down by 300 points. But Mirrorcle really helped his team stay in the game and eventually bring it to their favor. Now, it's over. The game's over. It's just, will Mirrorcle get the kill on the enemy destroyer? And the destroyer runs into the island. He fires at the enemy, and unfortunately, replays end like a half a second after a kill, so the replay cuts out there. But he does get the kill. I have to cancel or finish the recording just before that for it to stick, and you lose about a second or two at the end, and that's why we lost it there. 6 kills, Confederate, High Caliber, Devastating Strike, Arsonist, 4 Citadels. Just a fantastic game, and you can see Mirrorcle rocks a pretty crazy camo. Mirrorcle was able to earn 2,719 base XP, along with those 6 kills. Just fantastic. Total damage done is around 180,000. Just awesome hard carry from the Iowa. We like the Iowa. Hopefully we'll get more Iowa games. This ranked grind is taking away from the tier 9s, but we'll return. Tomorrow's video, 0.5.2, and all the cool stuff they're going to add. I'm going to talk about if I like the changes, everything. Hopefully everyone enjoys that. Otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.